Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the Hawker Hunter build. Tony Nyhouse design, 36-inch 70mm fan. If you remember on the last video we left it, I was just sheeting the fuselage sides, and now I'm going to continue with the sheeting because I didn't finish it. So how far did I get? Well, I got as far as this, which is how we ended the last video. And it's been probably a good couple of hours now since I pegged this up. So let's just take all this off and see what we've got. I think I'll put in the opposite side here to cut the front down. Maybe don't have to cut the back quite as much, but it's okay up to about there. Up to about here, say, there. I'll trim that off and offer it up and sand it and stick it on. I'll come back to you soon. Thought I'd show you this, guys, because it's just so therapeutic. Just shaving. I could take off more with the knife, but this is so nice. So I'm just taking this down, both sides, one at a time if necessary, like that one. Or I could rest on there and do that one. But because there's no blade on this part, it's just resting and duplicating basically. Just taking it down to reasonably close to the formers. I'm not going to film it all, just this front bit, just to show you guys. I've done the front bit on the top. Or was it the bottom? The bottom. And it's so nice, I thought I'd share the pleasure. Then I just went over with a sanding block over both sides to make sure they were the same. And then sighting down it, or you could put a rule across, I suppose, if you wanted, but I've just taken it down just to the start of the 1/4 inch stringers, just right on that corner. So same with that side, so then I can stick on the 1/4 inch bottom sheeting and then finally shape that and the rest of the fuselage. And this side's going to be under a fair amount of stress bending it down that last little bit, so I want to make sure it's got the full contact on that it can have. Get it on. I'm trying to sort of smear it a little bit away from the outer edge because it's obviously the glue line is harder to sand than the balsa line. I'll put this end on first. I tried steaming it, but you can't steam with the grain, so that wasn't going to happen. Okay, pegs are on. I'm going to tape it around as well as use pegs. Yeah, far end's gone right up there. So bring it back a little bit, give me something to sand. I'm going to use the quite heavy clamps on this end. I'll get them on. There we go. There's an even heavier one there. Let's use that as well. That's the same. Right, so it's going up in the middle, as I thought it might. Just take that across slightly. Okay. Get some tape around there, get it all bound down. What I'll do, it's squeezing out here and there, what I'll do, I'll just go up with a pointy bit of balsa wood and just scrape out any surplus glue. Otherwise it's harder to sand. That's pretty good, guys, actually. That's squeezed out here and there, very nice. So there we are. We'll let that set. Quite feels heavy. We'll let that set and come back to it and put the other side on later on today, or this evening. When I've been building it, basically I've done one side at a time, but as the glue's quite quick drying, I can come back to it and put the next bit on. So I probably every couple of hours. So, you know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces over to it. So it's definitely over a couple of days, and then you've got to keep going back and doing the next bit and the next bit. If you do that, then it doesn't take long to whip into shape. See you later. Just thought I'd bring you back just to enjoy the lovely sound of a plane doing its business. A plane working on the plane. My arm isn't long enough to get right down to the far end of this thing. Looks like a giant torpedo now. Just took my workshop bin full of shavings into the kitchen to dump it all into the big bin. Sal was in there. She defended it. She said, "You're coming, get your own bag." She wouldn't let me put it in there. I said, "Look, you know, it's only going to fill it halfway." No, so I've got my own bag in here now. You've got to laugh. Some people haven't seen these little planes. They've got the word David stamped on them. So just Google David plane and you'll find it. They just have a razor blade inside, and you can just loosen it, move it in and out like a full-size plane. So yeah, check out David plane. Again, if you're not sure how far to go, get yourself a bit of masking tape. Put it on there like that, and then just keep working until you start to take that one away. It's a good idea to go at an angle as well. They work better than straight in there. These fuselage are rounded, so it will be scraping off the middle first. Something to be aware of. I need a little bit more from here just to bring it down to the glue line, but that's good enough for now. So I'm going to put on the underneath part, and that will be the whole fuselage covered then. I know it does feel quite heavy. I know the motor's in there, but this is a lot of sheet. Nose cone on, guys. That took a bit of working out. And there. We'll let that dry. Then I can cut the end off, sand it nice and flat, and then make up the actual laminated nose cone, which looks like that. And then the fun shaping bit begins. Okay, what's this, Cliff, I hear you ask? It's my nose block. So I've cut out 6 pieces. Oh, I've stuck it to my finger. Okay, yeah, so I've got 6 pieces of 1/2 inch very light balsa. It's probably not fully set yet. It's only been half an hour, but I want to glue that on the front here, and then I can get it drying. Now, because it's end grain, a serious amount of end grain, I have already impregnated, is that the word, that, if I can glue it on here, I've got to cut off. Oh, it won't fit anymore. Look, I've got to cut this off. Cut the triangular section flush. This isn't exactly flat, so I've got to try and make it so. Best way to do it. Okay, let's offer it up. What have we got here? That's the top. Let's just pop that on top of there like that. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so it's important to get this end grain absolutely sealed. So let's just pop some white glue on there. Because if I just glue this and pop it on, it'll probably come off because all the glue gets sucked into the grain. While that's drying, I'll just have a quick go at that. Don't want to take off too much because I've also, that's good, I've also sealed this grain already. What's the top? That's the top with the slopey bit. Yeah, that's the top. I'll just mark that just in case. Just in case, top. How am I going to hold it on? I could put a couple of pins through, I guess. A good measure, should we put one top and bottom as well, shall we? Just for good measure. Should be okay. I was toying with the idea of putting a light in the very nose. I do remember seeing somebody online some while ago. It may have been a DH88. It may have been Mike Parker Creative. Mike, did you put a light in the nose of your DH88 phone board model? I'll have to investigate. Right, so this is the nice part. Let's just pop that on. Bottom, top. It's got to be there. It's got to be there. Press it down and push the pins in. All right, there we go. Doesn't look very good at the moment, but the fun part will be shaving it down and getting it looking like a hunter nose. So when that lot's dry, guys, I'll come back and we'll have another go. This is now dry, so I'm going to take it outside and shave it away. Okay, yesterday evening I watched Jeff in Lower Alabama's roundup of model aeroplane flying around the world, and while I was doing all that, I cut out all these pieces. 2 sets of wing panels. What can I say? First of all, I haven't got 8mm, I've got 10mm balsa. So I either sand it down more or I go with what I've got and just make the opening a little bit bigger in the fuselage. So I haven't got 8mm, I've got something like 8x10, a spruce spar. And well, in fact, it's slightly thicker than the balsa, so I'm going to turn it sideways. Not as strong, but still ridiculously strong. And to make up the shortfall in that, I'm going to put a piece of 3/32 balsa on the top, which brings it up to pretty much perfect height. So I've covered up that spruce spar quite nicely, I think. So I'm going to glue it all together. Of course, because this is slightly wider than what the plan asks for, I've cut down this piece of wood in proportionally to get it in there. Okay, just drop that in like that. Look at that, beautiful. Now we'll get some weights on. Guys, there we go, 2 wings. I'm just going to go out and sand them flat, and then I'll mark on the shaded areas to reduce them to a wing section. I've made a slight boo-boo insofar as I've made 2 left-hand wings. They're both the same, but of course one of the wings is going to have the hardwood on the top. No big deal, but just one of those silly things you do. Anyway, I'm going to go outside and start sanding. I've been outside in Storm Catherine, is it? Sanding. I didn't have any problem with the sawdust blowing away, but yeah, I've taken the wings down and they've come up quite nicely. So next job is to offer it into the fuselage. So you've got to cut out a bit off the back here just to allow you to get the wings in, and then glue them back in. So let's have a go. That's the starboard side. There we go. There we go. Oh wow. Look at that. Look at that. Got the triangular fairings to build yet, to go top and bottom. Inlets. And I've still got to make cheat holes in the fuselage side for extra air to come in. Let's put the tailplane and fin back on, actually. Yeah, go on, Claire, go on. So this is now going to go on there, something like that. Got to shape it underneath a little bit. That will go on there. Oops. There we are, we get the idea now. Oh yeah, very pretty. Still got to cut out, say, there's templates for the air intakes that go up here, triangular ones. So they're to be cut out as well. Might do those just for the project to go on a bit more. The nose needs a lot more rounding. It's very crudely done at the moment. Yeah, look at that. Okay, let's pop it down there and admire it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe because it helps promote the video to other fledgling balsa builders. So the fin isn't glued on, but that's going to go to there and then centre on there. And that can glue on now. I've had an idea for colour scheme on this and a sort of a finish that you wouldn't expect to see on a model of this ilk. So I'll keep that in a surprise for you guys. You can see what I'm talking about later on. So I'm just going to centre it up on this side, stand up. Probably have to put a very small run or bead of filler in there, possibly, but possibly not. Right, slide the wings in, push them forward. There we go. Let's just do this. That's 61 millimeters, 59. The benefit of a see-through plastic rule. 60 and a half probably. Yeah, 60 and a half. Could go from there, it's a better position. From there to there, 22 inches. There to there, 21 3/4. Good, okay. So I've got to move it slightly that way. Alright, I'm happy with that. I'm going to get some glue in here. I'm going to use thin CA. I'm going to use quite a lot because I've got air ducts on here which aren't going to show. So this is it. Wings are going on. That's it, guys. The wings are on. Oh, hang on. Only joking. I've still got the push rods to fit. I have an idea how I'm going to do that, but I can't do it until the hatch is off, so I'll have to wait for that. But I'm looking forward now to putting on the air intakes, I think. Once these intake fairings are made, what I thought I'd do is offer them up to the aeroplane fuselage, draw around them, and then I'll cut out the intake here above the wing and here below the wing. When they're cut out, I can then glue those in position. So, and I also want to mark them and cut out here for finger holes to help launching. Okay, there's one bit. Stuck a bit of balsa on the top to get it in there. I'll do the same again in a moment. Right, let's have a look at this. I'm going to offer up the intake and we'll see where things fall. Let's go like that. So this will fit over here somewhere like that. I'll bevel the edge of the wood a little bit to help it fit. It goes in there, and that there will then form the half of the air intake. I've cut out my 4 inlets and faced them off with 1/8. It says light ply, but I've just used a little bit of hard 1/8, and I've made opposite pairs, so these will now go like that. I've beveled these slightly. I might give them a little bit more. Bottom one looks pretty close. So, but what I've also done is to mark where the wings will come. I've also cut out, pin pricked out a little template off of the plan, which shows me the position that I need to cut out some air intakes. So I'm just drawing round. I put curved corners in it, so I'm not going to go right up to the corners. So that's the square I need to cut out for the air intake, and I know it's going to be below the height of the triangle bit because I've already marked it on. So I should cut those out. Now I'm just going to turn the model over and use the same template for the underneath. So what I need to do is to cut out these holes. Now how am I going to do that? Do you know? I don't know. Knife them out. Yeah, it's actually cutting quite easily. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut across the corners at an angle and then go in with a little rat tail file and just make them round. Looks crude for now, but I'm going to make it so the air goes in there smoothly, smooth as possible. I think the reason I'm enjoying this build more than I thought I would is because it's such an unusual project for me. It's very, very different, and yet it also encompasses a lot of skills I know already, and it sets me up in a good stead for building a boat or submarine. Okay, so there's one done. One there, cleaned out. Before I glue these on, I'll run a bead of white glue along here. I can also get inside the wing a little bit on this side. So I'll do the other 3 and then we'll glue on the air intakes. Just sprayed them black on the inside, and I figure you won't be able to get in here after the event, so I'm going to paint this area black, and all will be good. I think they'll glue on there. about there like that. And the inside, when you look down, will be lovely and black. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I've dabbed some matte black around, and now I'm going to stick on these fairings. There's two ways of building on a plan. You can either cut all the bits out and make a kit before you start, or you do as I do, you just cut the bits out as you need them, which is what I prefer to do, to be honest. I'm going to run a small bead of filler along there to make that join really lovely. That's very nice. Let me just look inside. Looks pretty dark. I'm going to do the other three, guys, and when they're done we'll come back and have a look. I've stuck all four on now and it's looking pretty good. It's really brought the wings into the fuselage. I think once I put the filler down there, it's going to look even better. I've just put the tail on for effect, so as we can see it in all its glory. Show you the underneath. So did I show you the finished air intake at bottom cheek hole? So got to put a couple of holes in here now. Like launch, get your thumb and finger in, and we're getting pretty close to being done actually. I don't think there's any more bits. I'll tell you what I will be doing, and that is painting the outlet matte black in there, because I think it's just not going to look too good finished any other way. Got to decide what I'm going to do with the cockpit anyway. So there it is, that will complete it for this part 2. So I'm looking forward to cracking on for part 3. I've got to cut out the hatch, sort out the cockpit, sand the elevators, hinge them, cut the ailerons off, hinge those, and fit the radar gear. So I don't know how much. I'll probably, in the next one, I'll probably be putting on some sort of finish, and then possibly putting the radio gear in to finish it all off. Anyway, there it is, Hunter coming on, looking rather smart. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.